Alrighty then, it looks like we're live. Welcome everybody to a late Sunday Brony debates. Oh gosh, my voice is still warming up. I haven't used it all day. So I hope you're all doing well out there and have had a wonderful weekend. I had a few plans for my streams this week, and they all fell through. So we're just kind of improvising and going off the cuff here because I am a grifter, and there is no two ways about it. So we're just gonna do something and have a little bit of fun. We got a little bit of pony stuff to react to. Heather found a couple of good threads on Reddit, and there's another Equestria Daily community soapbox. So we've got a lot to talk about tonight. How are you doing, Heather?
I have so much material. I'm doing all right. Just got off of my really long stream last night. I've been rested up for this.
Yeah, how did your... I mean, I was there, but how do you think your stream went last night?
I think it went pretty well. My stats looked good, and everyone seemed to have a pretty good time. It was Minecraft.
Nice, and we got Rusty and Gojillion and Nathan, half random and crazy, in the stuff. So yeah, we're off to a good start here. So what should we tackle first, Heather? Should we tackle Equestria Daily or should we tackle Reddit first?
I'd say let's do a community soapbox from what was it called? Equestria Daily first. Yeah.
Alrighty then. Mr. Mario saying, hello, Brawny. I saw you like my artwork of you and I rapping. Yeah, I did see that. That was really good. Thank you for that. The next time I make a video, I'm going to put that in the fan art compilation at the end there. So, thanks to everybody who supports the channel monetarily, especially the $10 and up tier, such as Heather, who's with me, and Shady, Autoknight, Emerald, Senko, DJ, Rain, Billy, Alden, Kanto, Mr. Sonic, Alicia, Calbeck, StarChaser, VentureCorp, Willyzin, Icanus, Vulpecula, Raptor's Talon, Jimmy, J. Yoshi, and Dark Malcontent. Executive producer of Titan Art Studios. They have content links in the description. You can also see how you can support me and what you get in return. We are running a GoFundMe to help ease the pain of a dental surgery that I needed a little while ago. And if you want to join in the conversation, there is a Discord server that's free to join. You just click on that, raise your hand, tell us what you want to talk about, and if we find you interesting, I'll let you into the call. So that's all out the way. Let's go see what's going on over at Equestria Daily. Today we've got Community Soapbox, G4's influence on animation, Generation 6 of MLP, and more. So
are we just done with Gen 5? Did we throw Gen 5 away?
We might as well. It was no good. It was no good from the start.
All right. We first got our guy, Double C. I volunteer to read, Brawny.
Alrighty then. So, let's see here. Go for
Friendship
it,
is Magic Season 10, like Dragon Ball Super by Double C. Note, Season 10 is not confirmed. I'm pretty sure it's denied at this point. Soapboxes are opinions of fandom members and not meant to be used as news. I find this hilarious.
Get in there. Yeah, let me just get in there real quick with this. At this point, they know there's a demand for Season 10. They're just not doing it to spite Mixmaster.
And Double C, apparently.
Yeah, congratulations, Mixmaster. You ruined it for everybody.
Yeah, they're like, fuck that guy.
Yeah.
Okay, here it goes. Here we go. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Hasbro has said Friendship is Magic is getting a Season 10 as a show in the future. Really? While fans divided on this, but it'd be fun to see the main six return after some disappointments in its follow-up of A New Generation. I feel you there. While it will most likely draw influence from the IDW comics, but will give them some works to see if it will continue as future season, not just Season 10. But what Hasbro should really do is make Season 10 much like Dragon Ball Super in order to fix some mistakes that Gen 5 made. In many ways, A New Generation, along with Tell Your Tale and Make Your Mark, should be set in an alternate timeline since it lacks any connection to FIM. we all can agree Dragon Ball Z is the greatest anime and manga series of all time thanks to the Akira Toriyama. I don't
Highly
agree with that.
debatable.
I don't. How can you say we all can agree Dragon Ball Z is the greatest? No, that is a very opinionated statement. We don't all agree on that.
This dude,
that is not everyone's cup of tea.
Double C just lives in his own little world where he is God.
He is Bubble Boy. He is Bubble Boy in his bubble. Unfortunately, Dragon Ball GT was a very disappointed sequel with bad storytelling, favorite characters treated unfairly, and turning Goku into a kid.
All right, I gotta stop you again. Dragon Ball GT. Between the sub and the dub are two totally different shows, just so you know. And not everybody just likes it. They were popular enough to get into most of the games and are still getting into the games and concepts getting revisited by Super. So GT was not as bad as the haters say. Go on, Heather.
Yeah. Then latter, Dragon Ball Super had brought the franchise back to life by adding new things while giving favorite characters power-ups and better storytelling. This did, however, started the debate of both GT and Super, but it's safe to say GT is set in an alternate timeline. Is it?
No, it's just not canon.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know there's stuff about Dragon Ball, so I'm going to have to refer to you to this. Twilight would never take all the magic to keep Opaline out, which would imply she lost faith in everyone, including Luster Dawn. That's a big leap there. I thought maybe she just had one bad idea. Creating the Unity Crystal you spelled crystal wrong, I think, would also have been against what she said that friendship and harmony lives in everyone and don't need a physical item. When did she say that? Probably with the friendship. I'm not going to call him on that because I can't.
We didn't watch it enough, so we'll just have to take Double C's twisted word at this point.
Okay. The design chose for Spike and the other dragons was also off. I think everyone can agree that why do they look like slender twinks? Spike and the other dragons looked like dragons with pony structure. That was probably to make animating easier. We know Spike can walk on both legs, even in his temporary adult form, which enabled him to hold and grab things with his finger claws. In the form, he looks like he couldn't hold or grab anything except scratching his head. I don't know what point we're trying to make here. While Celestia and Luna were mentioned but never made an appearance, wait, yes they did in a flashback, which left fans wondering of their fate. We know the Royal Sister care about everyone, even in retirement, so they would never ignore what was happening in Equestria, except if they're dead. Opaline could have murdered them first as a means to eliminate a major threat, but this would have put everyone on alert, and her punishment would have been either imprisonment or death. And I've watched enough of the freaking Netflix Cutie Mark one to know she definitely didn't do anything about them. She talks about them in the past tense like she still has a grudge. If she was able to defeat and kill them, I don't think she'd be this petty still. Seeing Sunny going Super Saiyan Alicorn is perhaps what confused us. Unknown why Sunny can't just become an Alicorn like Cadence and Twilight did. I'm confused by that too. The Wendigo's absence is suspicious since they feed on the hatred and disharmony of ponies, which brings eternal winter. That's a question I had as well. Even without magic, they would still be around since they are the spiritual essence of hatred. I don't think that was exactly what it was. Anyways, so in all, Hasbro should admit that Gen 5 shouldn't be connected to Gen 4, which turned into a mess. The story had lots of holes where it never explained or explored of what happened to all of Equestria and the other creatures. Twilight and Spike felt more important than their friends and family. With Season 10 of Film to show most likely on YouTube, the writer should make stories that will make Friendship is Magic have no connection to a new generation, just like with Dragon Ball Super, make GT have no connection to DBZ.
Okay, I get where he's coming from.
Hold on. Yep. Personally, I think they will make more than just Season 10 because there are more episode stories, including a certain villain escape from imprisonment. Okay. I get Season 10 would be great, but where are you hearing? Because he's acting like it's like someone said something or announced something saying, hey, we're revisiting this. We're going to make a Season 10 of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. Yay!
Yeah, but if that were true, it would have blown up.
Yeah, on Equestria Daily for sure. And Equestria Daily went as far to put the note in hey, that's not a thing that's been confirmed. Someone's making an opinion piece about some bullshit they made up.
Yeah. So I get what he's saying. Dragon Ball GT was largely not well received by fans in America. And is, officially non-canon these days. So he's saying that Friendship is Magic should do the same thing. I'm saying if they do a Season 10, I do not want them to do it based on the Season 10 of the IDW comics. that was pretty god awful.
Okay. I didn't keep up with those, so I'm gonna take your word for that.
Yeah, I read through it. It was the pacing was horrible. They ruined Zecora. Like Zecora was so cool.
Zecora?
She talks normal. She just chooses to like it, and then like her reasonings for doing everything is like petty in a way that really we would not expect from Zecora, who's always, you know, shown herself to be sage and, you know, and down to earth and wise and things like that. So they just the villains were, I'm gonna say the word contrived. They were not well developed. Their motivations made no sense. It was they were adding new sets of elements of harmony for every nation, but they were just twists on the same like core 6. Like the thing about the elements of harmony is I think their symbolism is perfect, and the words that they use to describe them, generosity, laughter, loyalty, honesty, kindness, are exactly the correct words, and any other word you use is just going to fall under the umbrella of one of those 5 terms. And this is why it was always really bad when fiction writers try to make more elements of harmony, like the common one is with Sunset Shimmer being a 7th element, and they say empathy, and I'm like, okay, that's close. That still falls under kindness, though.
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah, that's kindness.
So, you know, imagine doing that and then basically repeating the same story beats for the Abyssinians, for the birds. I forgot what they were called, right? From the Captain Solano from the movie, for the zebras, for you know, a whole bunch of other. Just basically, yeah, they repeated the plot of Friendship is Magic, the literal season 1, episodes 1 and 2, 7 times in this arc, and then fought the villains in some, you know, it's some jumping the shark nonsense. It was really bad. So I definitely don't want them basing a season 10 off of the IDW comics. Let's leave the IDW comics to be their own hit or miss thing. I feel like there's a lot of combinations of characters that we didn't get in the main show, and a lot of places that got mentioned but never explored. You know, they could have, and this was one of the Reddit threads that you brought up. You know, like, what would you change about Friendship is Magic? You know, while still keeping it a kid show. Well, and I say this all the time. People are gonna get sick of me saying it. They are horrible at handling cycle of life. So birth and death just gets completely glossed over in a way that kid shows of the past didn't need to. You know what I mean?
But Brawny, children can't understand dying and death. They'll get sad.
Yeah, well, they you know, practice. You can be sad a little bit.
Practice being depressed.
Yeah, you can be sad a little bit you can be sad and scared, you know, and experience these emotions in low stakes as a kid when you can recover from it, and it helps you learn how to cope with that thing when it's real. And when you're an adult. That's why we got all these adults around that are our age and to have no idea how to handle their emotions. So that's I would love, obviously, more Friendship is Magic in the world is a good thing. I'm sure most of the voice cast could come and reprise their roles. We would definitely
nervous.
We would definitely need to see like aged up Crusaders. They should hire you, Heather, to voice Flurry Heart.
Why Flurry Heart? You want to see me do Flurry Heart?
I think you would. I would love it so much if Flurry Heart grew up and was like you.
Amazing. It's going to be like those freaking fan comics someone made of just like Flurry Heart being the biggest freaking little shit that you ever know.
And her parents are just going, because she's got really good parents, and her parents are just like, yo, where the frick did we go wrong? Where the frick did we go wrong?
I'm just like, Mom! Dad! Aunt Twilight didn't send me a present when she went to Yakistan!
Oh, geez. No, that's a little bit too much.
No, it's not enough. Mom, Dad, tell Auntie Twilight I don't want her coming to my birthday party. The theme is not purple, and she's like all purple.
Flurry Heart, you're purple too, the frick.
She's pink. I'm pink, Dad. That's how I identify. Oh my God, you're not respecting my identity.
Hold on a second.
What is my lit pony?
There we go. Images.
She's pink.
She is pink.
She is
all
pink. Right. I'll give you her hair's kind of purple. Her hair's kind of purple.
Yeah, that's probably where I was getting it from. But I would have said light purple, but I'm looking at it now, and yeah, you're right. It's pink.
It's totally pink. Anyways, what were we talking about?
Yeah, we were
okay. About... Anyways,
so what else?
I was gonna say.
This guy
I don't think
so much to say and then said nothing of substance at the end of it. How do you manage that, Double C? You should go into politics.
They probably, you know what? They probably had to take a lot of English classes, and you had those teachers that are like, you must have this many words in your essay, and they could never make up the whole word count, so they just started making shit up. Yeah, it's a certain talent and a skill. I wouldn't prefer you didn't use it here. Though I will say, if they're gonna, I don't think I want them to make a season 10 after having not been a show in a while, because I feel like every time a show comes back from the dead, it's not good. Like the Proud Family wasn't good. Fucking what's another one where they tried to recontinue a storyline after being fucking dead for so long? It doesn't sound like a good idea, because they'll go back and they'll do things differently with a new lens because it's a new time, and it just doesn't fit anymore.
Yeah,
it's like reboots. It's just
that's
not
the thing
right.
is that's the mistake though, and all they have to, and they did, and that's exactly what they did with Gen 5 as well. They wanted to piggyback off of the name recognition, but still have it be something different with their own agenda and their new writers, and who got in off of nepotism or I don't know what, but yeah, it's because they change it. If it were me, and they're like, hey, we're making a season 10, we want you to run it, I go, okay. The first thing I do is I show up on M.A. Larson's doorstep and go, listen, how much money do you want? And how much money do you want? I promise you can do whatever the heck you want. And because those were the two things. It wasn't even those two things. It was the one thing. He was just like, I stepped away from the show because they were getting too controlling of the script. And so it's like, yeah, you can do whatever you want. I trust you. You're a really good writer. Megan McCarthy, same thing. Yeah, there's a few writers that I would do. Dave Polsky, come back, do your thing, right? And yeah, I would have I'd sit down in the writer's room, just be like, okay, what kind of story do we want to tell? And we work out the skeleton, the bullet points of the story, and then I just let them do it. We've got writers that we know are good. Just let them write.
Rusty, I see at the bottom of the chat, said maybe bring Lauren Faust back?
I don't think she would. I don't think there's enough money in the world.
Really? Was she that pissed?
I wouldn't say pissed. I'd say disappointed by the sound of things from the documentaries she's been in interviews.
From the departure,
Yeah, because they did. Well, she was the first one that they did it to, where they just wanted all that control, and then and she's like, I can't work like this. You're not letting me do my job. So that's, that's that kind of thing there. So yeah, that's, I don't know. What else do you think about what this guy said?
It was a whole lot of nothing. He's talking so much about Dragon Ball. I know nothing about Dragon Ball, and he's talking about it all so vaguely, which I know we can't get into it too deep.
And he's also
in
talking
this
about it
little
like
thing.
everybody agrees on Dragon Ball, which...
Yeah, like, that's what I'm saying. This guy is the bubble boy. Like, he is in his own bubble and can't think that, wow, someone else has a different perspective of me. Inconceivable.
Yeah. He should run for the Democrats. Let's see here. Has My Little Pony Friendship is Magic created a renaissance in animation by folklore? Now, before we get started on this one, I will say that a lot of really good shows came out right about the same time as Friendship is Magic. Because right around that same time, we had G.I. Joe. We had, I feel like there was a really good iteration of Transformers that came out. Heather, what was that G.I. Joe you and I watched together? It was really good. Renegades.
G.I. Joe, yeah, Renegades was the one. G.I. Joe Resolute was pretty good.
Resolute came out in 2009. Friendship is Magic and Renegades came out in 2010. So, yeah, there was Renegades. There was a lot of those hub shows were really good. There was Dan Versus.
Oh, Dan Versus was classic. It was a shame it got cut down so quickly.
Yeah. There was a lot of really good shows that came out right around the same time. So let's see what this guy has to say. With a full decade of episodes and one of the most obsessive online communities of any show, Friendship is Magic seems to have thrust a lot of people in careers in animations that that never would have considered it before it launched. People like VivziePop creating Hazbin Hotel started in Pony, and others like Emilo just went straight into working on the next generation of it. I wonder what the world would be like if we never had this cartoon. So many incredible shows have popped up since its release, and many of the staffers working on them say they were involved in some way with Pony. Networks also took notice, wanting a Friendship is Magic level hit for themselves and offering creatives much more freedom to hopefully make it happen. Hopefully we keep seeing people get into animation from Pony, even as the show ends. I know a lot of, and then it just cuts off abruptly.
Oh, I think this guy's article got cut off and they just submitted this. Like, God, are you guys pre-reading this? You really should be. And being like, hey, guy, it looks like some of your article got cut off there. Did you mean to put another stuff? And he probably would have told you, oh, yeah, part of my article got cut off. Here's the rest of it. This just goes to show that they really, really do not look over these things. One of these days, someone's going to put something really off the wall on here, and you're going to have to be like, do an apology. Like, I'm so sorry. I didn't know a freaking Nazi submitted an article. That's how it happens, because you don't freaking proofread this shit.
Oh, God, that happened in freaking academia one time. Yeah,
because you could just do whatever.
Yeah, well, what they did was they were a group of people got together to show that there was this really heavy, there was this really heavy political bias in peer reviews. So they literally faked a study, and most of their talking points in the study were quotes from Mein Kampf, Heather. And then they just changed some of the keywords around to make it appear like it came from a leftist lens, and they just published it and reviewed it, and everybody gave it a standing ovation. And then the people who did that to prove the point came out and said, "You guys just proved our point," and then proceeded to get blacklisted from academia and get death threats to this day, right? Freaking, yeah.
It's ridiculous. If we all would just look a little bit closer into the things we read before we publish or do anything with them, we'd be better off as a society. But attacking this article's main idea, at least what we can infer from what little we were given, because they clearly had a little bit more to say at least, I would say sometimes I think we give the bronies, because we're kind of biased, we're in the community, they were like, oh, our fandom's so great, so talented. I will say I have not seen as much animated content from fans in other freaking fandom as I have in the Brony fandom. And I dip my toes in quite a lot of different stuff. But yeah, there was just so many Pony animators, and I'm not surprised to see that they would go on to actually work on the show or go work on other things. Like, it's just how, like, kids grew up, like, kids who would grow up drawing Pokemon and loving Pokemon so much eventually went on to make their own games or go work for fucking Pokemon.
Yeah. If something's around
So I don't know
long enough.
I don't know if My Little Pony is entirely to blame for a renaissance in animation. They certainly took a part, though. They had a great part in it because everyone in this fandom, I've got to say it, when I know we got some artists in the chat right now, you are all so freaking talented, and the fact that some of that might have come about because you watched My Little Pony and got inspired is freaking amazing.
Yeah. There's a couple in the Willyzin in the chat going, wait, MLP led to Has-Been Hotel and Hell of a Boss? Damn, time to Terminator MLP. Man,
did you not know the ponies were satanic? Didn't you listen to the Karens?
Yeah. They literally say friendship is magic. The Bible says you can't practice magic. It's witchcraft. It's against God's will. It's blasphemy. Magic. You can't do it. And
yeah,
here
you
you
guys
are.
didn't know that Vivzy Pop was a casual brony? Like, I say casual because she wasn't like a fandom creator, but she was a fan of the show. Her voice direction for Nifty and her original casting call for the Has-Been Hotel pilot had Pinkie Pie voice lines to say, like, hey, sound like this to try out for Nifty. Pinkie Pie voice lines. Pinkie Pie was the inspo for Nifty, at least for the vocal direction.
I don't remember who Imolo is, but I feel like that name is familiar. And, but yeah, Vivzy Pop never, I don't know what this guy is saying about Vivzy Pop starting in Pony.
Just that she was probably in the fandom for it, like, and she, because you were from the fandom.
Yeah.
So Imolo, I'm looking at Imolo right now. It looks like there were
there was Black Gryphon and Silverhound working on the pilot as well.
Yeah, there was another one there. I looked up Emo out, and they were like a fan creator for Pony, and it looks like they're working on G5 right now. Good for them.
Cool. Yeah, so, I mean, so I believe there's a false equivalency here with folklore. Like, just because Friendship is Magic happens, like, he's saying Friendship is Magic caused all these other shows that to be good, but all of those other shows were in development at the same time as Friendship is Magic. They really had no way of, like, taking inspiration from each other. If anything, because there was such a high point in animation, and like I mentioned a couple of shows, but House of Anubis, Reyes in the chat here going, Adventure Time, regular show was not good. I've never seen Fish Hooks. I've heard a lot of good things.
Regular show.
I've heard a lot of good things
Fish Hooks is mediocre.
Okay, I've heard a lot of good things about Symbiotic Titan. The first 2 seasons of Young Justice were really good. I've heard a lot of good things about Generator Rex. Never heard anything about Pound Puppies. Don't know anything about Alien Force. So, yeah, all of these shows that people say are good. So I saw somebody else mention Gravity Falls. Gravity Falls, I believe, started in 2012. That was an extremely good show. So, yeah, that's... but ever since then, the cartoons... I feel like a lot of the cartoons turned political in a way that's a little more overt than I would have liked, regardless of which direction, left or right, that the politics were leaning in. It just, keep it out of my kid shows. It doesn't matter. And because of that, because it's like, okay, we've got this name recognition, now we can spread whatever message we want. The writing suffered for it. So I'd be more willing to believe that because these shows were so good, it caused the dip that we're in quality that we're seeing now. But I don't even fully believe that. I just think, the culture comes and goes in waves, and that things change. So what do you think, Heather?
Let's address the second question in this prompt is, I wonder what the world would be like if we never had this cartoon? ? Well, for one, we know how it would affect us personally, but globally, I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
how
brought a
has
lot of
anything
people
ever been
together.
affected on a global scale because of friendship is magic?
You usually only hear the bad stuff too, like this freaking psycho liked Applejack too much or something like that. But if we focused on the positive, a lot of charity money has been raised through bronies. A lot of friendships were built through bronies. It was really a unifying force because we still have bronies in different countries, including there was a big surge in the Japanese, the Eastern world brony fandom boom. I see a lot more fans for that on Twitter these days, making fan art a lot. Or maybe they're just more active on that side. I don't know if they got the show like aired a little bit later than us, and that's why they were still like pretty fresh on it. But I feel like they're like maybe something would have taken the place of it that would have united people. We could always kind of have that, like, no matter what, the same things would have happened. But I would have felt it a little bit like, there's just something missing. I wish I had a show about unicorns. That's what I want.
Paladin Pony T says, Heather, are you saying you watched Not Safe for Work MLP animations? Is that what Emolo did?
Look, Emolo? I don't know. I just scrolled to Twitter real quick. Emolo? I don't know. I did watch Cupcakes like I think we all did, so, yes. Murder? Seen it. You remember Smile HD? Seen that? That's not safe for work at all. That's not safe for anyone, really.
Let's see here. Then Willyzin says, Heather has been banned from Equestria Daily. Now we know why.
Damn it. Again? This is like when I got banned off Twitter for being right.
You got banned off Twitter for making fun of somebody for signing up for Twitter Blue. They can't have you dissing.
That is not the whole context of that situation, okay?
No, but it's the reason, okay? If everything else, I guarantee you every other statement you made in that tweet would have slid.
Oh, come on. It's not wrong, though. None of it was wrong, so I really was banned for being right.
Yeah.
I gotta find that tweet.
Yeah, because that was... I'm gonna tell that story again. I'm on Twitter looking for debate topic suggestions. Mixmaster shows up and says, "Let's talk about why the ending of Friendship is Magic was horrible, and they should let me take over and make a new season 10." And I responded to him with the clip from Freakazoid of Freakazoid going, "No, get out of here with that watch. Lay off the poor beavers, will you? Jeez, we were having a good time until you showed up. Ooh, just leave and go have some coffee with cream or something, because I'll tell you something, this is a happy place, right?" And then his first reaction to that was to just a middle finger emoji. And then I refreshed the page and he deleted it. But it was still the way like the notifications work. The notification was still in my inbox. So I screenshot the notification. I responded to him, to his new reply, which was just like, okay, understandable, right? I just tweeted the screenshot of that and said, mistakes made in anger cannot be undone. And then he got all mad. And then he said something, I can't remember what he said to me, but then Heather came in with this freaking amazing tweet.
I found
Heather,
it.
did you find it? There. Oh, I stalled for just long enough. Go for it, Heather. And said this.
Oh my god, they banned me for like an extended amount of time.
Like
Apparently I started with, "You're a little pussy ass bitch. Ain't no one give a fuck what you think." And then they said, yeah, 1,000 people care what I think because I got that many followers on Twitter. And I go, oh yeah, all those totally real people. Where are they now? Not here, watching you rattle off like a clown no one is paying for. You wouldn't be good for eating ass, you jester punk ass bitch. Save MLP pays for Twitter Blue and probably Pornhub. You holeless coochie crumb chaser.
And then she was banned on Twitter for what, 3 days?
3 days.
They gave you a chance to take it down, and you were like, no.
I was like, fuck you. Eventually, they took it down, but I have screenshots of it, so who cares?
Yeah.
No, I stand by with the shit I said.
God almighty. You see, this is why I need to marry you, Heather, is because you're going to say all the stuff that I'm not going to say.
I'll be like, what the fuck? Just bring me in there. No, you know what it's gonna be? It's like that meme that was around for a while with that one poor man's poison thing where it's like people thinking I'm about to freaking destroy their lives with words alone, and then you step aside and then it's me and it's like, I am the righteous hand of God. I am the devil that you forgot. My wife about to curse the shit out of them.
The other analysts got mad at me because they think I'm controversial, and oh my god, they don't know you.
I'm about to say, like, I don't think they can handle me. They're gonna come up to me and be like, Heather, would you like to do a collaboration with us? And I'm like, you couldn't handle this collaboration.
Yeah, you'd be like, oh yeah, sure, and then you just get to working on it, and after 15 minutes with you, they're like, oh my god.
She's a monster! They're gonna go to you like, please, you have to do something. You're like, you've done this to yourself.
Yeah, please control your wife. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna control my wife. This is what I love about her. We're getting off topic. What will G6 look like?
Matador. Okay, I'll read this one because you read the last one.
All right, go for it.
With G5 winding down as Tell Your Tale does its bi-weekly episode release and Make Your Mark gone, there's a good chance Hasbro is already working on the next generation of My Little Pony. It's probably on the drawing board. My guess is they'll be bringing it back to old Equestria pre-G5 and either following right up after G4 with Lester Dawn and her friends, or at least some kind of story taking place in the Equestria Twilight world as a larger alicorn. Personally, I'd love to see maybe a side city get some love similar to Ponyville. Really, the possibilities are endless here. There were many locations on the map of Equestria that were never explored, and it would behoove Hasbro to go ahead and fill out those places with some lore and a new cast of ponies. Specifically ponies, though. While I like the Student 6, I think they should stick to what everyone really wants. Cute ponies. Did Naysay write this? We already did the diversity arc in season 8 and 9? That's what you're calling it? It's time to dial it back. Whoa. Maybe add some new pony race if they want to do something unique, but it should stay pony rather than yak and changeling. I've also liked to see them give some closure to Cozy Glow. I can't imagine it's just generally accepted that they've imprisoned a filly forever. Anyway, this is a lot to explore still. Thanks for reading. Naysay, how did you transport?
This guy might actually be alt-right.
That kind of sounds racist. Like, I know that's weird for me to say, but I was thinking, that's kind of racist, man. I know they're not real! What do you mean, the diversity arc? What do you mean, the diversity arc? My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. Yeah, pony is in the name, but it's also magic, magical world, mythical creatures. That's a part of the shit, dude. It sounds like fucking Naysay manifested into a physical being on our plane. It was just like, I'm gonna keep being racist.
They had 7.5 seasons of, working with other ponies and within their own communities to better, and then an opportunity presented itself to introduce, our Lord and Savior, the magic of friendship, to other cultures outside of Equestria that frankly struggled with it. And in doing so, they showed its nurture and environment, which, provides these things. And like, because they say, the thing about some types of, racism and biases or whatever, prejudices in general, is sometimes we have to admit they have a point, right? And you've got to work within understanding why they think that way and breaking it down with examples from reality of why it's wrong. You have to be better than the prejudiced negative stereotypes that they have in your head of you. And and eventually a reasonable person will see the reality and change their minds. And that is exactly what happened in season 8. Dragons struggled with friendship. It was not a part of their culture. Their culture was lonesomeness and power. Yaks were completely isolated. Again, only focused on pride and strength. Griffins, extremely greedy, extremely lonesome. Changelings, literal parasites. Right? And every single one of these things breaks their, what we might have argued was their nature, especially in the example of changelings and sought to be a better person and then proved right. And if it was just in their nature that this is the way that they are, because I am a dragon, because I am a griffin, because I am a changeling, because I am a yak, then there would have, they would have been wrong at the end. It would have caused more problems for Equestria, but it didn't. Right? So that was the spreading of friendship that was season 8. It wasn't the diversity arc, Matador. Gosh darn.
Yeah, just the use of the words diversity arc for this, I just found like immediately I was raising my eyes. I was like, okay. And plus, all we got were the Student 6. Like, there were a couple other characters that were one-off on the side that were different species. But for the most part, it was just the Student 6. You got 6 new characters. And one of them was still a fucking horse. And the rest of them were just a different race. Like, that was not a lot. You still had the rest of the main 6.
The hippogriffs. The hippogriffs were also isolationist and looked like they had a bit of a superiority complex. Like, oh, why should I bother with your problems?
To be fair, they had a reason for that wasn't exactly their, like, species or whatever. It's because they were literally hiding from a threat that they were so isolated. And I think, like, they have the same problem as unicorns. Unicorns can be kind of uppity about, like, I'm a unicorn, I do magic, I'm better than you, you know?
I think that's more of a
I don't think that was complete. Yeah, it totally is. But that's like the same kind of deal. Like, they're a bit prideful. I mean, a lot of cultures can be when you get down to it because they're so proud of, like, the things they've cultivated for themselves. But I feel the isolationism wasn't entirely, like, their doing. It was a forced kind of thing they had to do to survive.
Yeah. Oh, Rusty saying, and didn't Heather just say that something like this would happen if they didn't proofread it? Hey, I need to go apologize to Peter New. Apparently, the alt-right does exist in the Brony fandom. All right, so, yeah, we finally found one, and that's the bottom of this thread. I'm going to go submit something to Equestria Daily, and I'm going to, for the community soapbox, and I'm going to make it as ridiculous as possible. I'm going to repeat that same experiment that I told you guys about at the beginning of the stream, and I'm going to see if they post it, right? I'm obviously going to have to not post it under my name because I think they recognize my name. So I'm gonna go make up a name for myself. And
you could give yourself like one of those. What do they call them? An anagram or something of your name.
I could. I'm just gonna call myself the Stash, and it'll be the picture of Button Mash from that one scene. And then I'll edit the eyes to be purple. So it'll be pretty much just, a kid version of me with a mustache disguise like Groucho freaking Marx.
I've thought about putting stuff on Community Soapbox just to get a little bit different discourse going on, but then anytime I would think of doing that, I'd probably turn it into a video and just do that instead.
My community, right, because that's a lot more productive. My Community Soapbox is going to be Equestria Daily. You need to freaking proofread your Community Soapbox and quit giving a platform to Double C, because he's just wasting everybody's time with this nonsense.
Yeah, honey, it's already 15 minutes left in this stream. Maybe we should go into audience participation.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to rename the stream. I put it as r/My Little Pony. Give me some.
We should have known. We should have known if we got Soapbox and we had Double C on the line here. We were gonna be discussing some things for a bit.
Right. So Heather, go find me some of those threads you were talking about, and while we're doing that, let's.
I still have them tabbed, girl.
Yeah. What is the best type of pony? What is the best type of pony best fan content? For God's sakes, Equestria Daily. I'm asking you. I'm begging you. Please, just read what you typed once before you hit the post button. Gosh darn it.
Yeah, we have. They have a serious issue with that.
Drawings, animations, cosplay. Cosplay's cool.
I love cosplay. I like plushies though. They had plushies there.
Customs. Plushies, music, radio play, and analysis. It's got to be analysis. Analysis is the best. I say
I do. That is what really drew me in about this fandom. I loved watching and listening to analysis videos, and that would later influence me to script my own stuff and talk about things that I wanted to talk about. You know,
I like having
that's another thing MLP
intellectual
did. I
conversations.
would not be as into video essays and stuff like that if it weren't for the analysis community of My Little Pony, which really, it brought me down in the beginning because the rest of the fandom hates that part of the fandom. It's crazy.
Oh, Rusty's got a good suggestion. Brawny, call yourself Double B. I think it's animations. I think animations is the best.
You know what? They really are the popular
Analysts.
ones.
Analysts are the black sheep of the fandom, and
why do they hate us?
Yeah.
Why do they hate us?
Everybody,
The only one they like is Silverquill.
Silverquill's the only good one. With a close
us?
With me as a close second.
What about me?
What about you?
What do you mean, what about me? I'm amazing, you bitch, and I'm also a cosplayer. Have you seen my Applejack tits? They're amazing.
I've seen your cosplay. I love your cosplay. All right, what character?
Say Applejack tits.
What character who doesn't already have kids would be a good parent? Oh, but you just
Reddit needs to edit too.
You just said Applejack's breasts, and that reminded me. I don't know if you saw. I posted a couple of days ago. I posted one of your TikToks in the art gallery in my patron server, and I said, "Wow, this cosplayer is really hot. I think I'm gonna have to marry her." And somebody said, I think it was Rusty even. Rusty's like, I think she's taken. And I'm like, by who? I'll kill him.
I found it.
Yep. All right, so.
I like how the quote is fit. Applejack cosplay swords, anti-government.
Yeah, that's what that was. Oh God, let me pull up that link real quick. It was an art gallery. It was recent. Yeah.
It was very funny.
What are you writing? The government wants to know what kind of weapons we have in the house. I'm letting them know it's private information. This just says fuck around and find out in calligraphy. What are you writing?
So,
fuck around and find out.
I said she's fit, Applejack cosplay, swords, anti-government. I think I want to marry this woman.
The anti-government's what sealed it. I like that Willyzin in the last thing he said is, Heather, what about me? Oh, silly Heather. There are no women on the internet. What?
Get wrecked.
That's not wrong. That's not wrong. I'm not even here right now.
So we've stalled long enough here. What doesn't already have kids and would be a good parent? Applejack. Family is a huge part.
Oh yeah, obviously.
You don't think she'd be an overprotective helicopter parent?
Maybe initially, in some instances, that she'd go over the stuff that she did with Apple Bloom, really. And we'd have to teach her this lesson all over again. But she has too many good friends that were, hey, rein it in a bit. And she's she's the most level-headed, reasonable character. There's no way she wouldn't eventually find her path. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Twilight would be a good parent.
I have faith.
Twilight would be a good parent until her kid comes home with a B-.
She'd be too structured, if you ask me. She'd have like this whole kid's life planned out on a whole bunch of calendars before it's even like a month old. I feel like it's her
and then
thing.
by the time the first time something deviates, she's gonna lose her marbles.
Yeah, and then she's gonna have to. Everyone's gonna be like, okay, and the kid's gonna like have a freaking crisis, like, oh no, I strayed from the plan one time, and my mom freaked out. What am I gonna do? That or the kid's gonna just completely act out because they don't want to be on the schedule, and then she's gonna have a rebel kid. So Twilight would have a hard time.
Yeah. Let's see here. This guy says, I think Fluttershy because of all of her animals. I disagree.
Undeniably, she'd be sweet and nurturing, but I don't think she'd be very good at the discipline aspect. Like, that's something she's still struggling with, you know?
Yeah, Fluttershy has a lot in common personality-wise with her parents, and her parents spawned and raised Zephyr Breeze. So...
They also made her, and she was nice.
Right, but that's because she takes after her parents a lot. I think parents like Fluttershy, like her own parents, have a tendency to raise Zephyr Breezes.
Yeah, well, it's gonna have to be a co-parenting situation with her, and I feel like it'll depend on who her partners is.
Also,
if
who's the
they'll,
father?
like,
That's right, though. Who's the father? Discord?
Yeah, you gotta see if the other parent is gonna, like, even her out. I don't see Fluttershy.
Discord
like,
is not going to even her out.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not a big Fluttercord person. Like, I definitely see it. I see where people get it from, but I don't see them, like, this situation, I don't see them really being the type that have babies, you know?
God almighty. Paladin Pony T said, Brawny, who would marry Twilight? Me. That's who
Flash Sentry.
Flashlight is a bad ship. Twilight should date my OC.
Get out of here, Black Gryphon.
I'm glad we still have that meme. So many 12 years later in the fandom.
Pinkie Pie obviously made a great parent. She has freaking cheese sandwich as a husband.
God almighty, that kid's got diabetes and ADHD.
It doesn't.
Or at least, that's what I would guess.
Cranky Noodle and Matilda, they're kind of old to be having kids.
Right, but no, I think they would make good parents. I think they're pretty balanced. I think they're pretty wise, right? Like, we'd have to age them down a little bit so that they could safely have children. And
totally.
But yeah, they would. I see no reason they wouldn't be good parents. Cranky Doodle would end up being like, you know what this would turn into? We already saw what Cranky Doodle and Matilda look like as parents. They called it. It was Red and Kitty Foreman from that '70s show.
Oh, it totally was. I love that. Well, to be fair, both their kids kind of suck. I mean, one was a whore and one was fucking Eric Foreman, and he sucks.
Yeah.
I love those two as characters. Their kids suck.
Well, they were 17-year-olds in the '70s, so yeah, it did make sense.
What, baby? What? Sorry, he's crying again.
Yeah.
I do want to address, someone says, honestly, Celestia, she gives off so many wholesome mom vibes. I will say she did a good job with Twilight, but Twilight still has issues. And then this brings me back to something someone, I believe Honey Drop, suggested to me to read this My Little Pony comic, where it's an IDW comic where they go over what if Celestia had taken on Prince Blueblood as a student as opposed to Twilight. And what it displayed to me is how, like, you can have a great teacher, but if you have a student that's just unwilling to just intake anything you tell them and is completely spoiled in every other aspect, you might just not have a good deal there. And there seemed to be nothing she could do to chase. Like, the reason in the comic that she even decided to take on Prince Blueblood instead of Twilight was because she thought Prince Blueblood would benefit from having more help because he didn't excel in anything, and she thought maybe he just needed to be more motivated by having, like a big mentor to help him along. And it really seemed like when the story really started, like it was starting up at, like, what was considered the first episode of My Little Pony season 1, she kind of just gave up. She was just like, here, go to Ponyville. Maybe she kind of just threw him at the situation. It was just like, hopefully the thing that's supposed to happen will happen. And it kind of did, but not in the way she expected.
Interesting.
I don't remember if you read it with me. It was hilarious how it ended, for sure. It was a whole,
I did not read this one with you.
It was very fun. It was a very fun comic, but it really did not make Celestia look good because he, like, nothing she imparted on him stuck. Not a single damn thing. She basically fucking raised and mentored him from the same age as Twilight, and it still ended up as bad as it did. Nature versus nurture there. Like, make up your mind.
Let's see here. Applejack and Fluttershy both have big mom energy, and I think they would make great parents overall. Rarity. Would Rarity make a good mother?
I think Rarity would. Look, I love Rarity, my rare bear, my lovely unicorn. I have biased. I think she'd get a nanny to do the stuff that she didn't want to
That's
do.
not a good parent, Heather.
It's the same thing I do, honestly, Brawny. I can't do the parenting, so I might as well pay someone else to do it.
Okay, so that's not a good mother, so no, Rarity would not make...
Look, she is... you know what? If she had a house husband, maybe it'd be fine, because I don't see her as like a mom that's gonna like stay at home and do all that other stuff, because she's busy running her business and things like that, and it's just hard to be a business person as well as a very present parent. Like, I don't see her doing it.
Or even a very present wife, which is why she was a spinster at the end of the show.
You shut your goddamn mouth. You know nothing about my babe.
How about you prove to me I'm wrong? She wore
You know what? I
an
will.
oversized cape.
I'm gonna go talk to Lauren Faust herself and be like, "Hey, do you see Rarity
We
getting
have
married to somebody?"
IDW comics proving that Rarity can't even hold down a boyfriend.
Well, that's not canon.
It's canon enough. It came from an official source. We've seen
You
Rarity
shut
on
your-
days. She talks the ears off, and the dude can never get a word in edgewise.
You shut your mouth. You shut your mouth right now. You know, maybe they just never listened.
What are you talking about? That's all they can do.
If they were really listening, then why'd they leave? She has so many interesting things to say.
Okay, listen, Heather. You have a lot of interesting things to say too, and I love listening. The conversation's got to balance out eventually, right? I can't just sit there and be mute for hours and hours and hours on end on every single date.
I don't know what you're talking about, Brawny. I talk your ear off all the time whenever we go for a run. You never have anything to say.
Because I'm running.
I'm running.
Yeah, and you're a lot better at it than I am. Paladin agrees with me. Yeah, Rarity would be a horrible mother.
It's a horrible thing to say. I just don't think she'd take to it naturally, okay?
I think Rainbow Dash has a better chance of being a good mother than Rarity does.
I don't know. She's already not a good sister to frickin' Scootaloo.
Exactly.
I don't think you know what you're talking about. I think, like, at least we could see with the way Rarity handled Sweetie Belle, is that she has a lot to learn, but she really has adjusted to it. It's those kind of relationships that really, like, having a sibling with such a large age gap like that can really prepare you for parenthood.
Yeah, Rainbow Dash.
Which is why, again, I say Applejack would be a good one, because she has so much experience, rearing Apple Bloom.
Yeah. Willyzin says, a good husband is seen and not heard, Brawny. Get your sexist crap out of here, Will. Here's the thing.
I'm not seeing him, so I guess I have to hear him.
Here's the thing. Rainbow Dash only knows sports and is not at all good at being there for people emotionally. For that reason, she would not be a good mother. And I would still sooner see Rainbow Dash as a good mother than Rarity. Rarity would just drop the ball on everything.
Are you kidding me? She'd try her best. I could see her taking on the same approach as she does with Sweetie Belle, with trying to do things that she likes to do and sharing them with her, but then coming around to being like, oh, you like something different. Like, remember Sisterhood Social? She really can get the message imparted, and with time, she'll only get better at it.
Rarity
I will say, I don't see Rarity doing it by herself, for sure. Not doing it by herself.
Well, yeah, obviously, if the main six are parents now, there's got to be a husband involved, or
Oh no, people go to IVF and just get pregnant if they want to.
Heather, they literally, we have literally never seen an unmarried couple kiss in this show.
I don't know. Did they not kiss?
No.
What other couple can I even think about? I don't even know what couples we got.
Cranky and Matilda, Shining Armor.
Did Big Mac and Sugar Belle kiss before they got married?
Nope.
Did they not?
No, and neither did Pear Butter and Bright Mac.
Are you sure?
Kissing there was no kissing until after marriage. It was the perfect.
I'm just saying, Brawny, like they have magic and shit. Maybe Twilight gave herself a magic baby. She can do that. Probably.
Here's the thing, Rarity. This would be the episode of Rarity as a parent. Oh shoot, I need to travel to 6 different cities across the width and breadth of Equestria for my fashion shows, but I need somebody to watch my 4-year-old. Sweetie Belle is unavailable. Twilight's a princess. I guess that leaves me with no other choice. Trixie, will you please babysit my child? And then it's all downhill from there.
You give it to Trixie and Starlight because they're married, Brawny.
They are not. I wouldn't trust Starlight with a kid either.
Yeah, you're right about that. Unless you want it, like, dead.
Yeah, not in large doses. Starlight's okay. Starlight did a halfway decent job as a guidance counselor because she's been there, but she could not be a parent. Moving on. Let's see here.
We should probably get to audience participation, honey. It's 8:01 or something.
Oh yeah. Well, I guess so. We'll give it a couple of minutes if anybody wants to hop into that Discord server and give us a and let your voices be heard. We'll give you a couple of minutes to do that.
I'm gonna start up my.
Let me try another. Because right after this, guys, we are. I'm gonna take a couple of minutes break to set up, get myself a drink, go to the bathroom. But then we're just gonna hang out for some time and play Pal World. And I invite you all to join us for that as well. In the meantime, can we please admit that MLP is aimed at a younger audience than Adventure Time? While it didn't air during the Hub's preschool block, it was rated TV-Y and used to air the transitional block during the channel's first year, basically targeting an audience between the preschool shows and for the older shows. Adventure Time was rated TV PG and was considered an edgier show.
I will say, in freaking Adventure Time's inception, it certainly didn't seem edgier. It did get that way. I think Adventure Time had got more seasons than My Little Pony, and they did get edgier with time. But, maybe officially, if we're looking at TVY and TVPG, sure. I feel like they weren't going for, like, preschool kids with this show. I feel like it was at least grade school going into middle school, the youngest, because I would, if I popped this in front of a toddler, I don't think they'd be immediately that intrigued other than by the colors. And why would you put that much effort into something for kids who would probably rather be watching Baby Einstein or something?
I have no idea. Spartan Cardboard says the Three Crusaders as parents. I could see Sweetie Belle. I could see Sweetie Belle and Apple Bloom being alright parents. I don't know about Scootaloo.
Well, she's a kid. You really can't say much. Like with the kid characters, you have no way of knowing how they're gonna turn out.
Well, you have no way. You have no way of knowing. I'm just kind of like looking into the hypothetical future based on their personalities. With Scootaloo is one of those things where, in order to really be a good parent, it would probably be ideal if your parents were there for you. And she doesn't really have that.
Honey Drop says Adventure Time was aimed for much older audiences. I would say not. I remember them using their farts to fight back an enemy at one point. A lot of fart jokes. You can't tell me that was just like the edgiest of content. I don't think much older.
I'm gonna wrap up the stream for now, Heather. So we can set up for the other stream here. So thanks to everybody for tuning in. We had a pretty good turnout tonight, all things considered. I didn't expect such a good turnout at this time slot. But, thank you all for tuning in. Stay tuned. We're going to be playing Pal World in just a little bit here. I just need to take about 10-15 minutes to get everything all set up. But we're very grateful to everybody who supports the channel monetarily, especially the $10 and up tier, such as Heather, Shady, Autoknight, Emerald, Senko, DJ, Rain, Billy, Alden, Kanto, Mr. Sonic, Alicia, Calbeck, StarChaser, VentureCorp, Willyzin, Icanus, Vulpecula, Raptor's Talon, Jimmy, Yoshi, and Dark Malcontent. Be sure to check out all those links in the description. We'll see you in a few minutes. Until then, stay safe, God bless, and have a good night. Say good night, Heather.